Make this straight, put the motherfucker up.
What's good, trappers? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Welcome to another episode of Trappin Tuesday. Today we're gonna do something different, man, because we are in a time that is so dangerous, in a time that is so important. I want us to understand that America has had over 200 years of financial panics. And so when we talk about financial panics, like we're talking about when banks and depositors attempt to withdraw money from the bank. We're talking about when equity holders and stockholders, market participants, attempt to sell their stock with attempts to being liquid. What is liquid? They want to have cash. Fear causes them to get out of the assets so they can have cash. But as a retail investor, as a citizen, as a wealth builder, it is imperative that we identify what causes these moves. Borrowing and lending is a risky business, but it has to be done. It has to be done. It is a way that we exchange. It is 100% a part of the wealth wheel. Knowing how to spend money, knowing how to earn money, knowing how to borrow money, knowing how to lend money. Overlending and overborrowing is what things get real expensive. What adds on to that expense is when billions of dollars and trillions of dollars can get printed out of thin air. Whether there's too much money and where there's credit that's available, institutions gonna do what institutions do. And they're gonna do whatever is necessary to earn profits. But consumers are going to do what they do best, and that's consume. We are 100% embarking on a journey that is already making its mark in the history books, y'all. Interest rates are at a historic high. Gas prices are breaking records. I'm talking about we're in a situation where people are debating, should I buy gas or should I buy food? Should I miss work today earning the money because this gas ride is a little bit too expensive? That is an ultimatum that many people are in. It is a harsh reality of what happens when the government spends. Now, these type of economic cycles are a part of what makes America, America. It is the lack of knowledge, and it is the lack of being able to identify and prepare for these cycles that hurt us worse. COVID, monkeypox, and the list goes on. It is safe to say that the American citizen has stressed, tested their capacity, both mental, physically, internally, and financially. So when I hear the Fed in their meeting say things like, we're going to attack inflation more aggressively. When I hear them say things like, there's a lot of pain on the way. This is going to be painful. When I hear them say things like that, I truly understand that we're about to go up against something that schools have never taught us to prepare for. We're about to go up against something that so many of us were maybe too young to understand for dot-com bubbles. We only read about the Great Depression that lasted 10 years. The financial crisis of 2007 only lasted about 17, 18 months. True enough, we had to pivot and figure that out. But in 18 months, we can get out of that. A lot of people were hurt. But we're talking about something, we're talking about companies. We're talking about companies falling. We're talking about generations being affected. We're talking about economic winters, y'all. And this is not to be played with. We looking at this and we still debating on if we in a recession or not. We having debates about, is the recession here? Is it the writing on the walls say things are about to get dangerous? Who cares if they come out and say if we're in a recession or not? Who cares when the writing on the wall say things are getting dangerous? We got to prepare, y'all. The harsh winter is on the way. And that harsh winter can turn into an economic blizzard. Welcome to another episode of Trappin Tuesdays. How y'all doing today? Man, look, the energy is up. I'm feeling good. Today we're going to do something a little different, y'all. We're going to get into word on the street because y'all know that's how we get in. That's how we play the game. But we're going to do something a little different today because as I listened to Jerome Powell speak last week, as I listened to him speak, it did something to me. It came to me that I'm like, Trap, we got to prepare for this. We gotta give us history, we got to give us game, and we got to give us a blueprint for this. Because people going to be hurt. But not on my watch. So in giving us a little history, I want us to understand that America has gone through this cycle numerous amount of times. Each time different in its own right. But each time it was felt. So let's talk about the panic of 1785, which lasted from 1785 to 1788. Let's talk about the panic of 1837, which depleted 80% of the country's surplus. For 6 whole months, it depleted that. And then it caused the 6-year downturn. That's scary. What about the panic of 1907, which is referred to as the rich man's panic? In this financial panic, J.P. Morgan, who was the head of a large bank at the time, borrowed $40 billion to help the banks bond out. He rescued the banks. But when you rescue the banks, what happens to the everyday citizen? Because when you say somebody got to die. In the words of Biggie, somebody got to die. If I go, you got to go. What about the panic of 1929, known as the Great Depression? It had several different causes. We saw the S&P decline 40%. And that led to the deepest depression we've ever seen. It lasted for 10 years. Also known as the Great Depression. A lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people became homeless. Trap, why do you keep saying it? Are you trying to inflict some type of fear in us? The thing is, the truth is harsh. Because some of us live in this fake reality like this is not going to happen. I'm watching people spend money effortlessly. I'm watching people spend money recklessly. I often tell people this. If you want to know if you're on a journey to building wealth, look at your closet and look under your bed. If you have more money in your closet and you have more money under your bed than you have invested or in your bank account, you are building wealth backwards. You're building a financial house on quicksand. And it's only a matter of time. Let's talk about the OPEC crisis, the oil crisis of 1973, and a financial crisis of 2007, 2008, and we got out in 2009. History may not always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And if we don't have an ear that's tuned to the lyrics, we'll be dead to the repercussions. I need us to understand that, y'all. I need us to understand the seriousness of this. I need us to understand the importance of this. So let's talk about what Jerome Powell said. He sets the record straight. So for the last few years, the economy, the markets, everybody has been just running around with free money. That's right. Everybody has been dependent on the Fed to give them money. Remember, during the pandemic, we were supposed to crash. The market had what's called circuit breakers. Circuit breakers are when the market crashes so fast, you got to stop all trading. It's called a circuit breaker. We had circuit breakers 3 days in a row. We had circuit breakers 3 days in a row. The market was falling at a rapid pace. The Fed came in and they pumped more money in the economy and in the market than we had ever seen in our life. It is said at this moment right now that 47 to 57% of the money that's in circulation right now was printed in the last 2 years. This is crazy. This is crazy. So I want us to understand the severity of this. I want us to understand that this was how they set us up. Because if you don't know how to play the game, you will always be on the losing end. I don't like when people say they playing chess, not checkers. Because if you're in a thinking man in checkers, you're going to lose too. Both of them are games that require strategy. Both of them are games that require strategy. It's the person who goes in a game with no game plan and no strategy. It is the person that is not aware that you're playing the game. It is the person that is playing the game that doesn't realize that the opponent has an intricate strategy to defeat and crush you. That is the person that will consistently lose. That is the person that will consistently lose. And so every time you step up to the plate, every time you step up to the game, and you don't have a strategy, you don't have a playbook, you don't have the necessary tools, you already setting yourself up for failure. And the thing about real life is, when you set yourself up for failure, you also put your family in failure. Because failure falls 2 generations at ease. I want you to take a look at where you are right now. I want you to take a look at the generations that came before you. And I want you to ask yourself this simple question. How far are you economically from them? How far are you economically from your mother? How far are you economically from your grandmother? How far economically, meaning how much progress have you made from them? Now here's what I want you to understand when you do that. Understand that their dollar actually had a little bit more power than yours right now. Understand that. Understand that. So in a market where money has been free, it's kind of like the markets have been thinking that Jerome was bluffing. He has been a man that has been under so much pressure. He has been a man that has been, the markets have been trying to manipulate him to do what they want him to do. But on this meeting, on this day, he came to set the record straight. He said, the central banks will use our tools forcefully to attack inflation. Forcefully. He said inflation is running at an all-time 40-year high. He said interest rates will be persistent for some time to come. What does that mean, Trap? Explain that to me. That means he's going to do what's called quantitative tightening. So quantitative easing is when they pump money in the market. Quantitative tightening is when they slow it down. And then as they slow that down, they increase interest rates. When he said that, everybody got their mind right. We saw the NASDAQ tumble 2% in a day, 4% in 2 days. We saw the Dow Jones tumble 1,000 points in 1 day. We saw the S&P lose all gains for the month of August. He said the goal is to get inflation down to 2%. I want you to understand that inflation is normally, even when I'm evaluating a business, right? When I'm evaluating a business, I evaluate it at a 2% to 2.5% interest rate. Because it's somewhere always between 2 and 3, so I'll go in the middle. Yo, we had 8, 9. This is absurd. To get that down to 2%, we talking about another 18 months to 2 years. We talking 2024 when this thing gonna get right. We talking 2024. And that's being easy. We talking about increasing rates. That means housing rates increase. Interest rates on houses increase. Interest rates on credit cards increase. They're talking about interest rates on student loans increase. Joe Biden gave a $10,000 student loan forgiveness. Okay. What does that do? Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve. Price stability. The economy does not flow without consumer spending. But yet, the banks and the big institutions benefit the most when money is cheap. In order to be wealthy, you got to play the game like the wealthy. In order to be wealthy, you got to play the game like the wealthy. In order to be wealthy, you got to play the game like the wealthy. One of the things the wealthy do is they borrow money when it's dirt cheap. It's a golden rule. You borrow money when it's cheap, you buy assets with the cheap money, and you let the assets pay off the cheap interest. But here's what happens. As interest rates go up, companies stop borrowing money because it's not in their best interest to borrow money as interest rate, as it gets more expensive to pay it back. So what happens? Banks stop, they increase the price to borrow money, and then that becomes an entire free fall. The Federal Reserve has another meeting in September, and we're expecting 0.75% rate hike. So if we look back to the 1970s, that's right, y'all. I've been doing homework because I want us to understand. I want you to listen to this, and then I want you to go back and say, dang, Trap did his homework, so now I know what to go look at. The Fed didn't get aggressive in 1970s. And because of that, the economy suffered. The caveat to that is this. As the Fed tightens rates, the consumer will feel it in everything that they do. The money supply slows because it's too high to lend, causing people to lose jobs because companies won't borrow money for inventory. Companies won't borrow money for inventory because people are not coming in because people want to hold on to money. So profits lessen. When profits lessen, what happens, y'all? People got to get fired. Because this is a bunch of companies' best interest to do what? Preserve capital. And so when people get fired, people can't pay bills. And when people can't pay bills, people lose homes. And when people lose homes, people lose cars. When people can't buy homes, architects lose jobs. Contractors lose jobs. Electricians lose jobs. And the snowball effect keeps going and going and going. There is no such thing as job security. It's just a matter of time when a job is willing to release you. And the thing is, what do you do when a job releases you? Because the statistics says that 64% of Americans are living check to check. That bothers me. That bothers me. Financial trauma is a thing. Toxic relationships with money is a thing. In order to build wealth, we got to change up a lot of the things that we do. And we got to pay attention to these people, man. We got to pay attention to what's going on in the economy. We got to pay attention to how these banks are moving. I want to ask you one question before we move on. What does your personal balance sheet look like? What does your income statement look like? What does your cash flow statement look like? What does your balance sheet look like? Do you have more debt than assets? If so, you over-leveraged. Does every month, do you have more month left than money? If so, you're over-leveraged. Do you even understand a profit loss statement of your own personal life? If not, you're setting yourself up for failure. Do me a favor, man, like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a good review when you listen to the audio. The goal of Trappin Tuesdays is to help the culture build well one share at a time. It's to help you build great confidence in your investment decisions. It's to help you create legacy. It's to help you map out the blueprint to generational wealth and turning your last name to an asset. All right, man, let's go a little further, man. I like it, man. I like it. I like the energy. I like how everybody feeling, right? I like it because I understand like how this is changing the game, right? So let's talk about something. Tesla did a 3-for-1 split, and a lot of people have been asking, Trap, what do I do? Trap, should I have bought it before the split? Should I buy it after the split? Let's get this out. Let's get this out in the open, right? Like, I'm an investor that focuses on valuation, right? I am not an investor who buys emotionally. I check my emotions at the door. I understand the research and the evaluation of a business. If you don't understand the research and evaluation of a business, you 100% need to go to www.thetrapuniversity.com and get the Wallstreet Trappin course. It will teach you how to evaluate a company. It will teach you the pros and cons of a business. It will teach you about great management. It will teach you about moats. It will teach you about understanding the balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. It will tell you everything you know about breaking down a moving average. It will tell you how to evaluate a company, come up with a price point using enterprise value. It will show you how to navigate through the 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 120-day moving average. It will give you confidence in your investment decisions. So again, check that out, www.thetrapuniversity.com. And check out that Wallstreet Trappin course, man. It'll change your life for sure. It's 100% the best fundamental value investing course on the market. Shout out to the trappers, man. All right, so Tesla said that the primary reason that they did this 3-for-1 split is so that people who work for the brand can receive an easier way to get equity into the business. Now, if you already own one share, then you'll get 2 more shares for every share that you own. Simple as that. If you own 1 share, you'll get an additional 2 shares, which makes it a 3-for-1 split, right? The move gives retail investors affordability. Now, I'll be honest with you. There isn't enough retail investors to move that price. What happens, though, is this. And I'll go on record as saying this first and foremost. I own Tesla stock. I'm going to do my best not to be biased. I'm going to do my best not to be biased because it doesn't serve me or serve you if I'm biased. The goal is to give you the real truth, and then you make the best decision from that. Remember, every investment that you make, you should do the homework on it. No investment decision that is made should be based on the fact that Trapper told you to do something. If you can't do the homework, if you can't do the research, you should seek out financial guidance, financial advice from a financial advisor or a financial fiduciary. I know one by the name of Rasai Bilal, part of the Earn Your Leisure family. He can take you to glory. I can only take you to the trap. Baby! Right? But I won't be biased in this situation. When you think about Tesla as a company, it is more than just a car company. It is an energy company. It's a technology company. Right? It is a car company as well. It is a company that is the face of the future. I will go on record as saying that this is the company that is the face of the future. Because as people buy Tesla cars, at some point, they'll get Tesla charging stations in their home. And then, if you got a Tesla, honestly, what you're saying to the world is, you're about clean energy. If you own a Tesla, you are a representative, an advocate for clean energy, whether you know it or not. And so you have the likelihood of putting solar energy on your house, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not. So when you look at Tesla, the company has so much growth, and in these environments, growth is expensive. It is called expensive growth. We must be cautious about buying growth right now. And I'm not the person to navigate between buying growth and buying value. I think Tesla has a ton of value. But in these environments, growth can be expensive. Why? Because in these environments, we understand that investors leave growth to find stability. We talked about it. Financial panics. So right now, Tesla is trading 58 times its earnings. That means the company's earnings, the stock price is 58 times what the company is earning. Okay? So the company is trading 58 times its earnings. That means the stock price is 58 times what the company is earning on a per share basis. Right? So if you bought Tesla at the price that it is right now, that means you're expecting it to be an $800 billion in revenue company in 10 years. That 58 times earnings is 18 times higher than the S&P. So the S&P is trading at 18 times earnings. So that means the P/E ratio on the S&P is 18. Right? I won't tap into that. Like, my goal is to help you understand the things that you need to understand. So if you're buying Tesla at the current price, then what you're saying is, I think in 10 years, this company will bring in $800 billion in revenue. That's expensive. That's expensive. What you need to understand when you're buying a company in a split is this. Even though the price, this is good. Even though the price is cheaper, the value is still the same. Because when a company splits, the market cap doesn't change. The market cap doesn't change. So now what you got to do is evaluate the company now at the current price. You got to evaluate the company at the current price. So, do I buy the stock before the split or after split? It's not the question. The first question needs to be, what is the stock worth on a value basis? Warren Buffett once said it, man. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. So let's think about it, right? Here's what I understand. I understand that Google, Amazon, they both did splits. Because in this environment, growth is risky. What splitting does is it now entices those who don't know the difference between price and value. And I'm not even just talking about retail investors. I'm talking about hedge funds. I'm talking about pension funds. I'm talking about whales. Warren Buffett once said, the enemy of a great investor is a fat wallet. Why is that, Trap? Because when you feel like something is cheap, you're going to buy it. Well, it went from 800 to 200. Trap, I'm about to buy that. It's cheaper when it's not really cheaper. It's still the same price on a value basis. So I need us to understand when we buy, like, what is the difference? I need us to understand the value, not the price. The value is more important. Do what you want with that information. All right, man, so we're moving on. Where I want to talk about NVIDIA. Is the time to lose confidence in NVIDIA? Now, I will say this. I actually like this company. I had some options last year that went crazy with NVIDIA. I made a big bag on NVIDIA. I'm not going to lie. But some things have happened. And so one of the things we got to ask ourselves is, what do we do when a story changes? I always say this, you can love a company, but never be in love with it. You can love a company, but never be in love with it. Investing is a game of returns. Now, NVIDIA is down 42% year to date. I'm okay with that because I understand, again, economic environment. But that slow demand for its graphic chips, which is the second largest revenue in their business, that's hitting the company hard. Now, the company has a strong balance sheet, and the company has great management. That gives me confidence. That gives me confidence. But that GPU demand has slowed tremendously. And that is the thing that crypto miners used a lot. So now that crypto is backed off, crypto miners not using it, it has hit really, really hard. Plus the demand for the flagship device, the RTX 3090, those graphics chips have slipped by 16%. So we're looking at 60% of NVIDIA's revenue in two things. We're talking about $3.6 to $4 billion in revenue. I don't know how excited I am about that. The thing about that is great management for great companies have a way of pivoting. Again, NVIDIA has an amazing balance sheet. They have great leadership. I want to see how they pivot. Now, Kathy Woods did purchase 60 million of shares of the business. I don't know how impressive that is to me because her track record ain't crazy outside of Tesla. So I don't know how dope that is, but I had to throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? I had to throw that in there for you. But I don't know. I like the business. I like the management. I just want to see what the company does as they pivot. Remember, they had a lot of momentum behind them during the pandemic. Gaming, people inside gamers going crazy. They had a lot of demand. So to go from peak demand, it was one of the best performers last year, from peak demand to now this, we got to see, was that pandemic growth? Can that company pivot? I want to see. So I'm not gonna abandon them. But I will wait to see what does management do. Moving on, let's go a little further, man. Do me a favor right now, man. Like, subscribe, and tell somebody what we doing over here. Tell somebody what we doing over here, man. We are on all streaming platforms. So make sure you stream it, make sure you download it, make sure you leave a dope review, man. All right? This segment is brought to you by none other than Trappin Anonymous, man. Trappin Anonymous is an amazing group. All right? It is an amazing community of investors that are seeking to build wealth long term. The goal in this group is to help you learn how to navigate through the markets. The goal of this group is to help you have people you can confide in and ask your questions to. From doing something called Monday Matters, where we talk to the trappers live on the markets. Tuesday, we do Ticker Symbol Tuesday, where we break down the stock together. Wednesday, Wild Out Wednesdays. Thursdays, ETF Thursdays, where we break down the ETF for trappers that truly just aren't ready for individual stocks, and they want to take some of the risk off with ETFs. Friday we do what's called Drip Friday. It is. But it ain't about the close away. It's about great companies that can drip dividend reinvested plan. They can automatically reinvest our dividends and at some point give us cash flow. Saturdays we do Say Something Saturdays where you can just ask all your questions. Sundays we do the amazing Live from the Kitchen. So we get presentations about business that we love. We ask each other questions. We do complete breakdowns. We do one masterclass a month. We got amazing book clubs and get together. So if you are truly serious about building wealth, if you're truly serious about connecting, if you're truly serious about mastering the market, come join Trappin Anonymous. All right, man, so this segment is called Learning the Lingo. right? Learning the lingo is all about us learning the philosophies, learning the word uses or the jargon that's used on Wall Street. This is the thing that separates us from being good to great, because once we don't understand the language, we can't play the game. And I need you to play the game, so I need you to learn the lingo. So today's word is capital gains. Yeah, right? The increasing capital assets value, right, as it realized when an asset is sold. So it's basically like you buy something at 50, it goes up to 100, you have $50 in capital gains, you sell that, you're only taxed on the gains. So it is the profit, right? It is the profit that you make from an asset. It's capital gains, right? You need to understand that. So if you buy something for 50 and it goes up to 100, you don't have $100 in capital gains. You have $50 in capital gains. We need to know that. We need to understand that. Learning the lingo is important. Learning the lingo is important. Let's go, man. Moving on, man. Like, I want you to see something. I want you to understand something. I want to talk to you about Trappin Apparel, Inc. It is the uniform of investors for the new generation. Let them check that out, family.
Trappin Apparel, Inc. is a movement that is dedicated to giving wealth a new look. To be a trapper represents first-generation millionaires. It represents breaking generational curses and turning our last names to assets. Wall Street looks like us now, no matter your race, color, or creed. We are the financial revolutionaries. We are taking ownership of our 24 hours. We are the new look of wealth. And Trappin Apparel, Inc. is our uniform. Wall Street looks like us now. Come trap with us.
What's good? Man, I love seeing that, man. Golly, man. Listen, Trappin Apparel, Inc., man, it is what I got on right now. It is what I make my crew wear. It is make everybody who is with me on this journey. It is important that we show up in uniform. Trappin Apparel, Inc., man, we talking about it feels good. And what is this, velvet? What is this, velvet? I don't even, listen, we go straight to Columbia, man. You hear me? I just said that. All right, I'ma chill. Don't make Black Migo gang. Don't make me get on that. Young School, I see you. Right? Man, Trappin Apparel Inc. is amazing, man. If you building wealth on any level, man, right? Whether it's stocks, whether it's crypto, whether you're a trader, whether you're a bond trader, whether you're in Forex, whether you're in real estate, whether you got a business, if you are building wealth in today's society, you are 100% a trapper. And you need to be wearing this because Wall Street looks like us now. So when I say that, people be like, Trap, no, it don't. This is what I want you to understand. We are the financial revolutionaries. So when I say Wall Street looks like us now, it's not black, it's not white, it's not Asian, it's not Hispanic. It's about us saying we are no longer intimidated by Wall Street. We are no longer intimidated by finances. We will make investments one share at a time. We will turn our last name to an asset, and nobody can stop us. And when you believe that, and when you live by that like me, God darn it, Wall Street looks like us now, man. All right, man. So this segment is called Certified Trapper of the Week. Right? So I like to diversify, right? Because there are a lot of great people doing a lot of great things for a lot of great businesses that are a lot of great investors. So this week we're going to talk about none other than Lisa Su. Right? If you don't know her, man, this amazing woman is responsible for the success of AMD. Right? CEO of AMD. She is known for saying the world is starving for new ideas and great leaders who would champion those ideas. President of AMD, she once worked at Texas Instruments, IBM, and Freescale Semiconductor. Right? The company, AMD, was on the brink of bankruptcy before this lady came over there, man. 2014, man, the stock was somewhere in the area of $2 a share. She got that thing up to $164, yo. It is safe to say that they believe in her. knowing that she truly understands the semiconductor business, they betting on her, and they betting on her big, man. $29 million salary. AMD is now one of the leaders in the chip space. And it's crazy that we talk about Lisa Su because we just talking about what's going on with NVIDIA. Not only that, but AMD is gaining and taking away so much market share from Intel. She is 100% a threat. She is a threat. And I don't own this company, but I'm dang sure on looking at it, man. Because as we get into the technology world, as we go deeper and deeper, chips will be a thing. And I want to be in one of those players. Shout out to Lisa Su. Keep doing your thing, beloved. We see you. Somebody holler at Lisa Su. Somebody DM her and tell her Trap won't holler at her. We want to get on the show. We want to sit down. We want to put our products on a triple beam. We want to see what we can do. We'll talk to you. All right, man. Moving on, man. This segment is called Breaking Down a Brick. Trap, why you got the triple beam? Why you got the baking soda? Listen, the triple beam and the baking soda are symbolic. It is symbolic because the baking soda represents how we break up and we put the stocks together. We got to cook them up. The triple beam represents how we take the stock, we put it on here, we make sure the weight and the value are the same, and then we break it down. Breaking down a brick is our way of saying breaking down a company to see if it's worth us buying it. We're not guessing. No longer will we invest in the business and say, this is a good company. It ain't going nowhere for a while. We will not say that. We will take that brick, we will put it on a scale, we're going to chop it down to all dimes. And we're going to make sure it's worth us putting our money in. So today's breaking out a brick is none other than Church and Dwight, right? It's a manufacturer. It manufactures household goods, household products, but it is known for its Arm & Hammer brand. Somebody watching this right now, I can guarantee you, you got the Arm & Hammer in one or two places. It's either in the door, and it's open, and it got a little residue around the lip part, or it's in the back of the icebox on the left-hand side. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Right? The brand has increased its dividend 27 years consecutively. That is big. Some of the other brands it's known for is Trojan, First Response, Trojan, First Response, Extra Cleaning, Nair, OxyClean, and the list goes on. It's a great brand. It's a staple brand in the society. Again, 27 years consecutively, they've increased that dividend. During pandemics, during recessions, they've withstood the test of time. They're doing a little more than selling baking soda over there, man. Shout out to Church of Dwight, man. We got love for them. It is a trapper's delight. All right, man. This is by far my favorite segment of the show. It is called the Wealth Track. It is called the Wealth Track. The reason why this is so important for me is because, we love hip-hop. We love what hip-hop has done for us. So many artists, so many musicians, so many songs have become the soundtrack of our lives. So many songs have put us on game and help us orchestrate beautifully through this thing called life. I remember doing my 10-year bid, and I remember listening to Benny Siegel. I remember listening to Pop, to Big, to Scarface. And that's what got me through. And one thing I learned about hip-hop as I got on this journey of building wealth was there were a lot of artists giving us game about wealth. And we often overlooked it. The world has put so much focus on negativity, toxic relationships, exploiting black men, exploiting black women, exploiting us, feeding us poison. And while most people are just talking about their lives, it shows you in the wealth track that we have so much other things that we can talk about. I keep saying this every week, man. Public Enemy didn't run out of raps. Talib Kweli didn't run out of raps. Common, Mos Def, Lauryn Hill, KRS-One, Queen Latifah, Rakim, Wu-Tang. These people did not run, Dead Prez did not run out of raps. They got smothered. They got smothered. So, it is my responsibility as the Wall Street Trapper. And I'm on my mission, not only to transform the word trapper, but to highlight the greatness of our culture. So, this week's wealth track is brought to you by none other than Andre 3000. Yo, this is one of my favorite verses. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I'm not gonna lie. That player's ball, that player's anthem. Fix your heart, 3 stacks. Fix your. That is, to me in my life, that is the greatest hip hop song of all time. I'm not gonna lie. I have debates about this all the time. I have debates, but Hollywood Divorces is the name of this track. 3 Stacks said something. He said, promise me you gonna stack. Promise me you gonna ball. Promise me you gonna invest 3/4 of it all. For what? So your kids can have some cheese. Can't get with it? Get down on your knees. Because wealth is a word. Riches round the corner from the curb. You don't like what I said? I'll shoot you the bird. Now let's break down that. Let's break down to it. Let's break it down. Let's break it down to a break. Let's break it down all dimes. Promise me you gonna stack. Promise me you gonna stack. That's automatically. Listen, we gonna get to the money. We gonna get to the money. But I need you to make a promise to me that you're gonna stack it. But look, he doubled back and said, look, promise me you're gonna ball. You know why? Because there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Like, I'm not the person that's, I'm gonna just keep it 100% real with you. I'm not the person to tell you live below your means. I'm the person to tell you find balance. I'm the person that's gonna say, look, save to invest, save to invest, save to invest, but enjoy yourself along the way. Again, on the wealth wheel, you gotta learn how to make money and spend money, save money and invest money, borrow money and lend money. So he said, promise me you're gonna stack. Promise me you're gonna ball. Watch this though. Promise me you gonna invest 3/4 of it all. That's it right there. That's it right there. Promise me you're gonna stack. You're gonna stack your bread. You're gonna grind, but you're gonna stack your bread. Promise me you're gonna ball. You're gonna have some fun, but make sure, promise me you're gonna invest 3/4 of it all. Because check it out, if you invest 3/4 of it all, you can have fun with the rest. It's cool. Balance, baby. For what? You know, that's why I gotta promise you that. He tell him, so your kids can have some cheese. If you invest more than you spend, you automatically put your people in position to have bread. He said, can't get with it? Get down on your knees, because wealth is the word. Check it out. right? I want to go back. Investing 3/4 of it all. That percent you got left, you can have fun with. So your kids can have some cheese. If you can't get with it, you got to get down on your knees. You know why? Because he's saying praying. Praying. Because wealth is a word. If you can't get with it, the harsh reality of poverty going to whoop you down. And the thing about it is, the worst thing about life is always thinking back like, dang, you know what I did? I ain't did nothing with that money I was spending. I stood on some sofas, I drunk some alcohol, I had some fun, but I could have, that bottle was right? Wealth is a word. He said the riches around the corner, I'm the richest around here. I'm the richest around here because I'm following the rules. I'm the richest around the corner from the curb. I'm the richest in the hood. You don't like what I write, and I'm going to shoot you the bird. You know why? Here's what I get from that. When you start talking to us about building wealth, when you start talking to us about saving and investing, man, I don't hear that, man. I don't hear that, man. You tripping. Man, you tripping, man. Everybody don't hear all that. You on the wrong level. You don't like what I said? I'm going to give you the bird, man. Because guess what? It's only a matter of time for you come to me and ask me how I did what I did. It's only a matter of time before you come back and say, bro, you was right. Put me on. Show me the way. Because it's only a matter of time before you realize you losing at the game of life. And that's the harsh reality of not investing 3/4 of it all. Shout out to Andre 3 Stacks for this, man. The wealth track. Tell 3 Stacks we want him on here because I want to know his mindset behind that, man. Man, so right now, it's important to me that I talk to you. Wise words from the OG, man. It's important. This is when I have my conversation with you. This is when I talk to you about some things. And we had this one-on-one conversation where I come to you like big homie. I come to you like big brother. Every year, we prepare for the different seasons. When the sundresses come out, we know it's summertime. Everybody practicing for summer bodies. Everybody on a diet. Everybody in the gym. Swimsuits come out. Vacations come out. In the fall, the fellas, we break out the gray jogging pants. In the winter, it's long johns, heavy coats, cold heart, and Tim's season. Unless you're in New York, because y'all wear Tim's all the way around. But yet when it comes to finances, man, we are oblivious to it. We rather gamble and take unnecessary and uninformed risk and then have the audacity to get upset when we lose money on investments. Wealth has to be intentional. No family has ever lucked up on wealth and sustained it for generations. Not one. We got to learn to play the game. We got to adapt new money habits. Or we will become the financial prey for a lifetime. It is said if you allow them to feed you, you give them permission to starve you. I said that. Because when you think about why you aren't where you want to be in life, I need you to take full responsibility that it's my fault. I don't want you to blame my daddy wasn't there. I don't want you to blame my mama was working too much. I don't want you to blame None of that. I want you to say it's my fault. Because once we take the blame from off everybody else and put it up on ourselves, we have no other reason but to go get it. I want you to be courageous enough to say, I will be the trailblazer. I want you to look at this word fail. Fear always interrupts legacy. What is your legacy? Who do you do it for? Why do you do it? And who loses when you don't dedicate yourself to the journey? Who feels the pain? Who feels the repercussion behind you taking advantage, behind you not taking advantage of the opportunities? Because the opportunities that you don't take advantage of become the same obstacles that the next generation got to face. But the opportunities that you take advantage of become the leverage for the next generation. So when we talking generational wealth, when we talking generational freedom, I want you to know that you hold the keys. I want you to know that you are responsible for freeing the next 2 generations. I want you to understand that your existence here is not just about you. Every family that ascended to wealth started with one person making a decision. One person putting a family on their back. One person saying, this is not enough. Are you that person? Are you that person? Or where when you're gone, all they can say about you was, he or she was a hard worker. When you gone, all they can do is laugh about the times y'all sat around and did foolishness, had some jokes. And I'm not saying that is bad, but God damn it, is more to life than that. When Sam Walton's family look at him, they say, hey, he's the reason why 5 of us are billionaires. When the J.P. Morgan family look back, they say it is because of him. We are the reason. When the Mars family look back, they look at the first person and say, he's the reason. I want you to understand that whether you like it or not, you are the reason. Now, what comes behind that reason is solely up to you. Will you increase your family's purchasing power? Stocks, business, real estate, credit, life insurance. That's it. That's it. All you got to do is introduce your family to them. All you got to do is write down the family SOPs. All you got to do is give them some instructions, and I guarantee you, it's like running a relay race. Remember, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. All you got to do is run, and at some point, all you got to do is hand the baton. You ain't got to look back. You can just keep running and do this, because in the relay race, the runner don't have to look back. All I got to do is keep running full speed and put the baton back there. The person behind me going to grab it. And once they grab it, they can pass me up. But if you never get on the race, if you never get on the track, we ain't got nowhere to run to. We sitting in the pit watching everybody else. You sitting in the stands, cheering for everybody else make their accomplishments. You sitting in the stands, watching everybody else become first-generation millionaires. You sitting in the stands saying, I remember when they first started. You sitting in the stands while you clapping for them, you ain't going nowhere. And ain't nothing wrong with clapping for somebody as long as you're making progress too. Let their progress be motivation for you. Let their progress be inspiration for you. Let their progress be the fuel to show you that it's possible. Information is the fertilizer to your wealth. What's the purpose? You trying to luck up on wealth? Are you that person that's saying, if I was that person, I would do this with my money. If I was that person, I would do that with my money. But yet when you become that person, you do the complete opposite. Too many of us out here today want to look good. The writing's on the wall, y'all. And we still out here trying to go spend money that we don't have. The writing's on the wall, y'all. We still trying to impress people with materialistic things. The writing's on the wall, y'all. Warren Buffett said it best. You can use the money to buy things that you don't need. And then there'll come a time where you have to sell the things that you need. Trapper said, because the things you bought that you didn't need, now you can't sell them. Because that Rolex that you crushed out, that you bust down, it lost its value. That chain that you bust down, it lost its value. The car that you hiked up, it lost its value. The clothes, it lost it. What is in our war chest? What is in our wealth war chest? Because when you saying I'm building wealth, it's saying I'm ready to go to war. When you say I'm out here trying to build wealth, when you say I'm focusing on turning my family last name into an asset, when you say I'm the CEO of my last name, when you start investing and you investing for your family like it's a hedge fund, you going to war. You're going to war with poverty. You're going to war with the educational system. You're going to war with the banking system. When you learn how to use that universal life insurance. When you're doing what the Rockefellers do. The blueprint is there for us, y'all. All we got to do is look at the people that came before us. We too busy, all racism this. We too busy, white privilege that. But you got a plethora of information in front of you that you ain't taking advantage of. You can be the person that comes from an alcoholic father and say, the reason why I don't drink alcohol is because I saw what my daddy did. Or you can be the person that say, I'm an alcoholic because my daddy was an alcoholic. You could be the one of the two. I choose to be a great father because I never had one. The choice is yours, y'all. The choice is yours. But I can promise you this. If we don't pay attention to the writings on the wall, when things get tight, because they will, we're going to see so many people fending for themselves. We're going to see so many people in pain. We're going to see so many people left behind. Take advantage of the time now. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, and I see y'all next week.